I mean, look, 2020 was a mess. One of the things that really struck me going into 2020 was just 6 weeks or so before the election, Hillary Clinton went on her friend's podcast and said she was advising Joe Biden not to give up no matter what the votes were. If it was in any way, shape, or form close, he could not give up. He had to hold on for dear life. And yet when the other side did that and held on for dear life, oh my goodness, it's a federal crime, literally, right? And various state crimes as well, as we saw in Arizona. So it only works one way. And it's really important that, I hope these polls, as I've said, are underestimating actually how successful Donald Trump might be come November. It's really important that he win by a wide enough margin so that he can actually just say, you know what? I won this thing fair and square, end of story. This is a big part of what Lara Trump is trying to do right now, because look, it's not easy, right? It's not easy when the other side has actually spent a lot of time and a lot of resources getting people registered, having these absentee ballots, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so she knows that she's got to fight fire with fire. And the good news about Lara, and I'll tell you this because I know her, and she's a workhorse and she's committed. And I mean, the girl like runs triathlons and the whole bit, right? So she's a fighter and she's organized. And what she's doing, along with her co-chair there at the RNC, is they're trying to make sure that they have enough people at all the polling places across the country to just be eyes and ears on the situation, because you want to make sure that everything is above board and everything is done right. And if you've got to do some ballot harvesting and you got to make sure that you get the absentee ballots in, et cetera, that you do all that stuff ahead of time. Because look, the Democrats are doing it. And while we all want a national holiday for voting, do we not? I mean, here, right? That would be absolutely, we should have a national holiday for voting, and people should engage in their right to vote. And this is a very patriotic thing. The fact that we don't have it is kind of amazing, but it is what it is. And so if you're really going to fight back in a meaningful way, you've got to rely on all the resources that you have out there. And I think Lara is trying to do this. You got to hear her here, because she's taken no prisoners. She means business. Listen to what she's up to right now at the RNC.
Well, under 2 months. I mean, I think it's been 4.5 weeks now since Michael Whatley, the chairman, and I have been at the RNC. And obviously, we've been working really hard. I think the most recent thing to report is that we are working hard on election integrity, and we just announced last week that we have 100,000 committed people who are going to be trained as poll workers. So, Eric, leading up to this election, I think we can all see the most important thing, aside from getting out the vote, is protecting that vote. We now have the ability at the RNC not just to have poll watchers, people standing in polling locations, but people who can physically handle the ballots. We want people all across this country.
Can we do this? I want to hear. This is really fascinating to me. So you have 100,000 people who are they? I think I saw paid at one point, but whatever, irrelevant. But so they will be stationed inside polling places. I didn't even know you could do that. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So there was a moratorium for about 40 years on the RNC actually training people to work in these polling locations and the tabulation centers where the mail-in ballots come in. And last year, the judge who implemented that passed away, so that was lifted. And that gives us a great ability as we head into what I assume everyone understands is the most important election of our lifetime. So we have this ability. These are volunteers, most of these people. ProtectTheVote.com. If people want to join our team, we train them to actually work in these polling locations. And think about how much better off that makes us in terms of transparency, Eric. We all know 2020 was not all on the up and up. People had a lot of unanswered questions. We can never repeat that. So in addition to these poll workers, we're going to have lawyers in all the major polling locations across the country. We have lawsuits in 81 states right now. We won about a week and a half ago a huge lawsuit in the state of Pennsylvania. The Democrats, of course, were trying to make it easier to cheat and wanted to take the dating off of mail-in ballots. We won that, and that means we have precedent in every state. We can apply the same measures. So we're working hard to ensure election integrity, because that is the most important thing we can do right now as we head into 2024. We have an election integrity division for the first time at the RNC. So you are going to see a marked difference as you head out to early vote. And I want to tell everybody, go early vote. I know we like to go vote on election day, but we have to make it too big to rig, Eric. We need everybody out voting as soon as they can, and then taking people from that day up to election day to go vote is the most important.
Wow. So she means business. And I think there's going to be a lot of changes. I didn't realize that you couldn't have people there at the polls watching for the last 40 years. So that's a major change. And it's a major change for the RNC that they're actually training people, 100,000 people thus far. And I suspect more people as you watch that. And as she's out there and she's talking about this, you're going to have more people that want to be trained so that they can also help with the polls. Listen, election integrity is critical. It's kind of all we have, right? So we want to make sure that everybody feels good about this. And then whoever is the winner, there you go, right? But you've got to have a fair fight. And so you've got to also have the perception of a fair fight. I can't underscore that enough, just how important it is for people to feel like their vote will count, that their vote does count, and that there's no shenanigans going on whatsoever. So if it takes lots of people from both sides to be there as eyes and ears on the ground, then so be it. That's what we need. I again think back to sort of what has transpired in these third world countries, specifically in Latin America, which I'm very familiar with. And it's kind of this sense that the system is rigged. And when people feel like the system is rigged, now whether it is or not, but when they feel like it is, that is a real kick in the stomach. And so we can't allow that for America. It is not right for our country. It is not right for our people. And so I applaud what Lara Trump is doing. She means business. You know, who else means business? My friends over at Americans for Prosperity. You guys, you hear me talk about them a lot. You remember we did the interview with the guy who bought the Bidenomics.com website. This was fantastic because for all the TikTokers they have over there in the Biden White House, nobody had the brilliance to actually just go and buy Bidenomics.com. So our friends at Americans for Prosperity got it, and they have had a lot of fun with it because they're actually putting out the truth about what Bidenomics.com really means. I mean, it cracked me up. Earlier, we're hearing Donna Brazile say, oh, you know, they should be talking about all this great stuff he's done for the economy and for workers. And I'm like, what planet are you on, lady? Because that's not the Joe Biden I know. The Joe Biden I know has done nothing to help middle-class Americans. Middle-class Americans are slipping as a result of Joe Biden. Well, the AmericansForProsperity.org folks team knows this. They know this inside and out. And I'm really excited because one of their big issues right now, it's not just the economy and getting the economy back on track, but they're also looking at the inflation within the healthcare sector. I've had so many of you reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe how much my healthcare is now. I can't believe how much I'm paying in healthcare expenses. And they can be really, really debilitating. I know that. And, you know, that's got to change, right? We're a nation that's pretty wealthy. And yet of all the wealthy nations in the world, we're ranked like 38 in terms of our health. Like we're not getting the best bang for our buck, if you would. And so it's a complex problem, but AmericansForProsperity.org, they've got a really cool solution. Lauren Stewart is going to be on the show tomorrow. She's actually spearheading this operation, and she's got a fabulous plan for how we can really start to think about coming at healthcare in a better way. Like, okay, you want to keep your Obamacare plan, go for it, keep it. But there's a better way out there, and we can offer more in terms of consumer choice and opportunity. Of course, you got to get the White House, you got to get the Senate, and you got to get Congress. So not always so easy. I want you to go check out this site, not just Americans for Prosperity, but Prosperity is Possible. Prosperity is Possible. True, we can make that again, I think, for later in the week as we show people that, but prosperityispossible.com. And this is so uplifting because what you discover is that there are people that are committed to really doing the right thing and giving us Americans more say in everything, from the economy to the healthcare we use and to our overall prosperity. So again, I encourage you to go to prosperityispossible.com. We're just so glad to have a partnership with them, and portions of the show are brought to you by them. They're just a fantastic bunch, and I'm just delighted to give them a plug. Again, Prosperity is Possible.